Investing. I don't know how you find the time, but you seem to make a lot of investments, including also being invested in the first place. I think it was Andreessen Horowitz that invested in Compound early on. You're from the Valley, you know that space. But there's people listening right now that don't know anything about VC or even raising money from angels and are maybe curious if it's necessary, how it works. With tokens in the blockchain, is it even necessary anymore? It's a really interesting question. How do you go about investing? And how do you try to advise people about the space if they're looking for investment or even looking to invest, in what they believe is going to be just a massive trade? I mean, everyone I talk to has said what you said. This is bigger than the internet, and that's a very general thing to say, but the adoption is, and we can see it. Yeah, how do you look at it from an investor or from someone looking for money?
Yeah. So I like to think about it as a market that's going to be really big, but is very early. And that means that most of the investments that one makes might die, might go to zero, right? And there might be some winners, but it's like investing in the internet in the 90s. Most of the companies that even IPO'd then are gone today, right? There's a couple massive winners like your Google, your Facebook, your Netflixes, your Amazons that took time to be created and grow and become dominant. But if you were investing in the internet in the early 90s, you have a lot of companies that are gone, right? And you might not have any of the winners. And so it requires you to think that, this is a long game that might span 10, 20 years, and that you have to act accordingly. There obviously is phenomenal successes all over the place. And, I think indexing the entire ecosystem, someone can do probably extremely well, but you have to be prepared for the entire ecosystem to be worth nothing. At least all the companies or projects that you invested in to be worth nothing in 10 years. And so I approach, investing with the same mindset, knowing that the way it's going to look in 10 years might be completely different. All the things that are dominant today might not exist. There might be relative outperformance or relative winners, but the most important thing is to try to find things that will be here in a decade. And, that requires, at least when I invest, to look for things that are differentiated. It doesn't make much sense to invest in 5 decentralized exchanges. It makes sense to invest in every different type of business, knowing that the future is completely unpredictable and uncertain. And the things that succeed might not be what I thought was going to succeed a year ago. A year ago, I would have said DEXs. You want to be in decentralized trading. Now it's oh man, NFTs. Next year, it's going to be something else, right? The question then is what becomes huge in 2030, right? And what's a massive protocol or business or entity then? And so that's how I think about it, just knowing that I'm going to be wrong more often than I'm right. The winners pay for a lot of losers, but you have to expect that you're going to be wrong most of the time, even if in the short term, it looks like you can do no wrong and everything is right.